Well, it's the 14th day of the 12th month, the year 2024. And you're just in time for the Legends Edition coming to you live from Broadcasting House in the Green City in the Sun, aka Nairobi, Kenya. I'm Edmund, Mudio. And top on Legends Edition.
Our strategic vision for the next 60 years is clear. We must continue enhancing our naval capabilities, embracing innovation, and strengthening our partnerships.
Securing the country, President William Ruto reveals modernization plans. Relief at the pump. Fuel prices drop by 4 shillings for petrol and 3 for diesel.
Sisi watu wa madhehebu na dini mbalimbali, we want to complement. We are not competing with anyone.
We are not at war with the government, says Mombasa Archbishop Martin Kivuva. Thank you for making us your choice this evening. Our sign language interpreter is Byron Abuli. President William Ruto says his administration will inject money to modernize security operations, especially the military. Speaking during the Kenya Navy's 60th anniversary at the Kenya Navy base Mtongwe, Mombasa County, Ruto said this will enable Kenya to tackle emerging security challenges, hence facilitate fulfillment of development agenda. He said with affordable housing and universal health coverage already on course, the country can now deploy more resources to modernize the military to ensure peace and stability that the country's progress is anchored on.
Our strategic vision for the next 60 years is clear. We must continue enhancing our naval capabilities, embracing innovation, and strengthening our partnerships. It is also imperative for us to invest in advanced technologies, modernize our fleet, and escalate the skills and operational capacity of our men and women in our Kenyan Navy. Our singular focus will be on maintaining a high state of readiness to ensure that we can respond swiftly and effectively to an increasingly dynamic security environment that we live in.
The Kenya Navy marked 6 decades of safeguarding the country's maritime border in a colorful event held at Mtongwe Naval Base in Mombasa. During the anniversary event, graced by the Commander-in-Chief, President William Ruto, the Navy officers showcased their hardware capacity to protect the nation from seaborne aggression. Outstanding officers and former commanders will also be recognized and honored for their exceptional service.
The Kenya Navy 60th anniversary held at Mtongwe Naval Base began with honoring the fallen heroes, President William Ruto laying a wreath at the Naval Monument. The Commander-in-Chief then inspected the Guard of Honor mounted by the Navy before settling for entertainment. The Kenya Navy, led by Commander Major General Paul Otieno, showcased their hardware capacity, including tugboats capable of bringing down aircrafts. The Navy also displayed their skills in hostage rescue, as well as airshow jumps. Service Commander Major General Paul Otieno said the Kenya Navy has enhanced its readiness and strengthened its position in the global maritime.
Kenya Navy's journey has been marked by growth and achievements. which has placed it at the forefront of the global maritime security.
Looking ahead, Your Excellency, the challenges facing Kenya Navy are greater than ever before. Security threats in our region continue to evolve and multiply. Our maritime interests also continue to expand.
One of the major successes of the Kenya Navy was the capture of port city of Kismayu in Somalia following the military incursion into the country as part of Operation Linda Nchi in 2012. Geshuki Washira, Legends Edition.
It is relief for Kenyans as fuel prices are set to drop starting Saturday midnight. Petrol will drop by 4 shillings a litre, while diesel and kerosene will drop by 3 shillings a litre. The announcement was made by the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, IPRA.
Lower prices of fuel set to take effect starting Saturday midnight are expected to provide a much-needed relief for Kenyans as they gear up for Christmas and New Year festive season. According to a statement by Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, petrol, diesel and kerosene will now retail at 176 shillings and 29 cents, 165 shillings and 6 cents, and 148 shillings and 39 cents, respectively, for the next 30 days. This translating to a drop by 4 shillings for petrol and 3 shillings for diesel and kerosene. This partly being attributed to a strong shilling, trading at 130 shillings to the dollar in a continued government-to-government oil deal. Give us in mind, Legends Edition.
Archbishop Martin Kivuva of the Archdiocese of Mombasa has dismissed allegations of a rift between the church and the government, emphasizing that the two institutions share a common goal of serving the people. Speaking during the Governor's tree lighting event in Mombasa, Kivuva stressed that the church is not at war with the government, but is instead working to complement government efforts, providing essential services to the public. He also called for peace and unity, especially during the festive season.
Sisi watu wa madhehebu na dini mbalimbali, we want to complement, we are not competing with anyone. Na ndiyo sababu tunapenda tuje pamoja tuangalie tusaidianeje vipi ili watoto wetu wasome kama ulivyosema. Makaburi sehemu zetu tuliomba sinang'ara, ila tu changamoto mbalimbali za wanaolala kule na wanahitaji msaada. Na zaidi Kenya ijue kwamba sisi ni wamoja na tuendelee kushikana mikono mbalimbali.
Tuna sheria ambayo kwamba itakuwa ni yenye kuzungumzia masala ya cohesion. Miaka ikija na kwenda, hatutaki yale ambayo kwamba tumeyafanya yaweze kukeukwa, kwa sababu haya yanahifadhiwa na yanasimamiwa na ofisi ya gavana. Tunataka yawe ni sheria. Haya ambayo kwamba yanafanywa sasa hivi, uwiano yawe ndani ya sheria.
The handing over of 5,616 bed-sitter units at the Mukuru Kwanjenga social housing project will now start in April 2025. Land and Housing Cabinet Secretary Alice Wahome, who visited the site, said the initial plans to hand over the houses to the public this December had been beset by court cases. She visited the project in the company of Gambian President Adama Barrow, who was in the country for benchmarking. Mukuru Kwanjenga is the biggest single housing project being developed by the government, comprising 13,248 housing units.
A day after attending Kenya's 61st Jamhuri Day celebrations, Gambia's President Adama Barrow made a pit stop at the Mukuru Kwanjenga social housing project on his way to Banjul. The president was looking to pick some best practices.
We are very impressed with what we have seen. With this housing, I think it's a very important project. As I always say, we have our seniors who were here before us. They were fighting for the liberation. It was about theory, big speeches, all sort of. But now we have passed that stage. Now it's about action. Now it's not talking. And I've seen my brother is doing exactly that.
Comprising of 13,248 units, 5,616 units are expected to begin housing Kenyans in April next year.
We are talking about 3,000 bob per month for you to live and own the house. To live in the house and own it at the end of the day of your period of 25 years. And we are not looking for people who can come here with a whole check.
The houses are almost complete.
The lifts are on the way. By this month, end of the month, the lifts will be here. Within a month, the final touches will be done, and we'll come back here with you people. You see yourself, you witness us giving these houses. So do not be left behind.
The units had been slated to be handed over to the owners this December.
But of course, you know the challenges we faced of court cases, litigation, and uncertainty in terms of whether the funding will be stopped by the court. But now I want to thank Kenyans and even the people who are still remaining in court. Appeal to them to join the rest of the country.
So we have land, and we'll go back to the Gambia, discuss with our technicians, see how best we can implement, because we are also thinking of implementing 10,000 houses.
The housing projects are currently in more than 40 counties, with each constituency expected to have a minimum of 220 units as a start. Kamche Menza for the Legends edition.
The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, has recovered a prime government plot worth 30 million shillings that had been illegally excised from public land adjacent to State House in Mombasa by Edward Mwangi, then a district officer in Mombasa. In a judgment delivered on the 11th of December 2024, Justice Nelly Madheka of the Mombasa Environment and Land Court nullified all transactions leading to the grabbing of the land done in collusion with the then Lands Commissioner Wilson Gashanja, and ordered that the ownership reverts back to the government.
Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission's investigations established that the then Mombasa District Officer Edward Mwangi Irungu corruptly acquired the land adjacent to State House in Mombasa. He then sold it to Minalov Hotel and Restaurant, which used the title to secure a loan facility at Equity Bank. The Commission subsequently instituted a recovery suit in 2015, suing Edward Mwangi Irungu, Minalov Hotel and Restaurant Limited, Equity Bank and Wilson Gashanja, the former Commissioner of Lands. In her judgment delivered on 11th December 2024, Justice Nelly Madheka of the Mombasa Environment and Land Court upheld the EACC submissions that, having been set aside for public use, the land was not available for allocation to Edward Irungu or any other person, rendering all transactions leading to its transfer illegal. Consequently, Justice Madheka issued orders and declarations that the lease registered in favour of Irungu was improperly procured, and that having no title, he did not pass a good title to the Minalova Hotel, hence cancelling the land transfer. She then ordered that the title reverts to the government. The EACC has cautioned financial institutions to ensure land being used as collateral was legally acquired. Isufar reporting for the Legends edition.
Winners of the just concluded Jinais na Receipt Legit campaign will soon be unveiled, that is next week, with 3 individuals expected to take home 1 million shillings each. The month-long campaign concluded on Saturday with stops in Kilifi County, where Kenya Revenue Authority, that is KRA, continued to rally Kenyans to adopt the culture of asking for a receipt as a means of ensuring that business entities are compliant with the electronic tax invoice management system, that is ETIMS. So far, 400,000 receipts have been scanned for validation. KRA had partnered with the state broadcaster, that is KBC, to publicize the Jinais na Receipt Legit campaign that kicked off mid-November.
It's been one beautiful campaign, a lot of experiences, a lot of lessons learned, and among the things to note is that we've had more than 2,000 winners winning different prizes. I know some of the people looking or watching from back at home, some of them are viewing us from the TVs they won from this campaign.
This campaign has finally come to a close, and we really want to appreciate all the Kenyans who have taken their time to participate and engage with us on ground. We appreciate that. This is the first ever campaign that we have done where we are awarding, we're giving cash and non-cash prizes, which is really good. So we are really encouraging the public to continue to ask for their receipts so that we build a culture as Kenyans of asking for receipts.
It's been such an exciting journey, this partnership between KBC and KRA. We have traversed so many counties for the last 18 days. And now here we are culminating in Mombasa. So KBC is such a reliable media house. We have managed to put this thing through, and the team has been wonderful.
A section of residents of Kobuya village in Karachuonyo constituency, Homa Bay County, has initiated collaborative efforts to restore their land after it was damaged by sand mining. They say the degradation has disrupted local ecosystems and increased the risks of soil erosion.
The unchecked sand mining activities, often carried out for commercial purposes, have left behind deep pits and barren soil, rendering their once fertile land unsuitable for farming and other productive uses.
It is also destroying the existing infrastructure. Like you will go several places, there are electrical poles that are down. Some other development initiatives had earlier been taken involving the design of the area so that we would also get other amenities like irrigation projects.
The locals are decrying environmental and economic consequences and are raising awareness on the importance of sustainable resource management to prevent further degradation.
The area which we were using as the grazing land has been tampered with the miners and the excavators.
We call upon the concerned authorities. We have NEMA, we have the county government, we have the security agents. Can there be a multi-sectoral approach to ensure that sand mining is done in a manner that does not leave the community in abject poverty?
They are now hoping their awareness campaigns will bear fruits and inspire neighboring communities to take action against environmental degradation caused by mining activities.
There is a petition that we intend to support this community to develop and submit or present it to the county assembly. It is with regard to policy on mining or sand harvesting, for that matter. When the policy, the legal and the policy framework is developed, that's when now this industry can be regulated well for the benefit of this community.
Christine Matunda, Legends Edition.
The Yaiku community in Laikipia County is said to be recognized as one of Kenya's tribes and accorded equal opportunities through affirmative action. Head of Public Service Felix Koskei says the Yaiku community will also be given their tribe code once he reviews the memoranda presented to him by the community.
As the country gears towards the commemoration of the International Day of the Minority on the 18th of this month, members of the Yaiku community are one of the most optimistic in the country. Speaking in Laikipia, North Laikipia County, the head of Public Service Felix Koskei promised that the country will recognize the Kushaiti community residing in Mugogodo Forest among the tribes of Kenya.
We are going to make sure that Yaiku people gets their fair share of employment in government. Na hiyo itafanyika kwa sababu muko na right ya kufanyia kazi serikali, muko na right kuandikwa, na muko na right kutumikia nchi hii ya Kenya kupitia ajira kutoka serikali kuu au serikali ya county.
Koskei added that the community would then be considered for government opportunities, including equal share of employment in the public service through affirmative action. Meanwhile, the chairperson of the Gender and Equality Commission, Rehema Jaldesa, has promised to present the community's grievances to the president during the Minority Day celebrations next week.
Tarehe 18 tutakutana kule Bomas kusherekea siku ya International Minority Day. Si mnaijua? Kwa hivyo siku hiyo tutapata nafasi ya kupeleka malio yenu kwa His Excellency the President.
Tilio Marco for Legends Edition.
More initiatives are needed to sensitize the youth on the critical role in environmental conservation. This was a rallying call at a football tournament in Kisumu dubbed Kick for Water, which was organized by the Center for Social Planning and Administrative Development at CESPAD to rally the lakeside youth towards environmental conservation.
The two-day Kick for Water football tournament staged in Kisumu by the Center for Social Planning and Administrative Development, CESPAD, provided fodder for sensitization of the youth on their unexploited potential in environmental conservation.
A lot of us, especially the youth, are not involved in issues around environmental conservation. And through this tournament, we have managed to bring in the youth as well as women and other stakeholders to come in and discuss issues on environmental conservation.
It brings about a holistic approach when we are talking about environmental conservation, because these young people not only got the chance to participate in the tournament, they also got an opportunity to learn about what role they can play when we are talking about environmental conservation.
Executive Director Asha Shaban says measures such as waste segregation at the household level, planting of trees and cleaning of water streams are some of the environmental conservation initiatives the youth can do.
We need to start incorporating that culture of environmental conservation from an early age, and I'm glad that in the CBC curriculum they have introduced environmental classes.
Nimelan vitu mingi. Kwanza tunafaa kuweka mazingira kwa clean, tunafaa kupanda mti.
Ujumbe wangu kwa wenzangu ni kuwa waweze kuzidi kupanda mti na licha yao pia waweze kuweka mazingira kwa masafi.
Authorities were also urged to implement policies that prohibit planting of water-intensive plant species such as the eucalyptus near water sources.
We need to walk the talk as leaders. Even as we make those policies, can we ensure that there is enforcement?
For the Legends edition from Kisumu County, I am Wycliffe Okech.
Well, it's time now for our very first break, and we beseech that you stay with us because there's plenty more on the other side.
Nipatie hiyo risiti ya items. Wazi wazi.
Cheki, mimi sina dozi unafaa.
Excuse, niletee risiti yangu ya items. Asante. Ni pesa ngapi? 3,000. Hebu nisaidie na ile risiti ya items.
Nimeshinda mili. I'm the latest millionaire. Marry me, baby.
Yes! Guys, nimeshinda laptop. Nimeshinda TV 50 inches.
Nice na Receipt Legit promotion kutoka KRA. Download Receipt Legit app, scan QR code kwenye receipt yako, ujishindie zawadi kem kila wiki. Kuna grand prize ya milioni 3 kwa washindi 3 milioni kila mmoja.
Christmas ni sahi, ishafika na ni kubwa. Kweli? Hii Christine ni bomba na Blue Santa kupitia star 570 hash option 1. Rudia. Star 570 hash option 1. Iko PlayStation 5 na 55 TV na iko 500,000 Kenyan shillings. Na mbuzi 1 million Kenyan shillings na Samsung S24 Ultra. Nabuzi moja. Iko 2 million Kenyan shillings na iPhone 16 Pro Max. Nabuzi mbili. Blue Santa amekuja na zawadi kibao. Na ni kubwa. Hapa kuna ndogo ndogo. Hapa Christmas ni bomba.
Thank you for keeping it KBC. Welcome back. 26-year-old Mary Wanjiku Muthoni has been stranded at the Kenyatta University Teaching and Referral Hospital for the past 5 months since August 13th. She was admitted and diagnosed with pneumonia, lung and chest infections, gastritis and ulcers, and has been unable to leave the hospital due to unpaid medical bills.
Mary's prolonged stay has not only taken a toll on her mental health, but also kept her from caring for her young child. Confined to her ward, she is even restricted from stepping outside to enjoy the sunlight. Her medical bills continue to increase as she stays stuck in the hospital. She is now appealing to well-wishers for financial assistance to settle her medical bills and regain her freedom. Her medical bill now stands at 477,240 Kenya shillings.
I'm in Kenyatta University Teaching Referral Hospital. I was admitted on 13th of August. I was later discharged on 30th of August, and my bill was 166,000. I was unable to pay my bill because of my financial problems. Now, till date, on December, this is my 5th month, my bill is 467,636,000. I'm still unable to pay my bill because of my financial problems. Please, well-wishers, friends, anyone outside there who can help me, please, may this video reach you, and I plead, please, if anyone outside there can help me, please hear my cry. Please, help me. Thank you. God will bless you.
For Legends Edition, I'm Rodney Mbua.
Indeed, if we can help, let's do so. That is a case 0740 185 141 0740 185 141. Still on matters medical, the government, in collaboration with the World Health Organization, Amref Health Africa and other partners, has launched a 5-day mass drug administration campaign targeting at least 1.8 million persons across the country. The campaign is aimed at eliminating intestinal worms and bilharzia among persons who are at risk of infection. These and other stories making headlines in our county roundup.
Speaking in Malava, Kakamega County, Health Cabinet Secretary Dr. Deborah Mulongo said the intestinal worms and bilharzia are among 20 neglected tropical diseases that undermine individual health and community potential, urging all stakeholders to support through innovative financing and precision public health strategies.
The recently launched NTD Master Plan 2023-2027 provides a strategic framework for prevention, control, elimination, and eradication of targeted entities. Integrating these interventions within the primary health care framework will enhance identification, treatment, and prevention at community level.
Elsewhere, the Principal Secretary in the Department for Higher Education and Research, Dr. Beatrice Inyangala, urged universities to embrace technological innovations to help create an all-inclusive education landscape.
There's a lot of emphasis now on the art and science of teaching. This is what is called pedagogy, so that the knowledge that is being transmitted, even if it is, say, in a subject like math, it can be directly used to build a range of competencies, including communication. How do you use math to communicate?
And in Kiambu County, Ngoliba Location Senior Chief Alice Njoki has challenged fellow chiefs and assistant chiefs to advance their education to enhance their leadership skills. She was speaking during her graduation Thanksgiving ceremony.
Ningeomba na nitajitahidi kuwaelekeza wale machifu wenzangu. Tusome tukiwa pamoja kwa sababu sisi tunaamini teamwork. Tusome na mwenye angetaka kuelekezwa, mimi naweza jitolea nimuelekeze hata mambo ya kompyuta ili tukiwa jamii moja tuelekeze area yetu kwa njia inayofaa.
Meanwhile, fishermen in Lake Victoria are urging the county government to step in and help reduce post-harvest losses to meet the growing demand for fish in the region.
Na uvuvi wa folo inakuja juu kidogo, lakini wale ambao wanachukua folo ni kidogo kabisa. Kwa hivyo watu wavuvi wanaenda sara kwa wingi kabisa. Kwa hivyo tunaomba serikali kama kuna njia ambayo wanaweza kusaidia wavuvi, inaweza kuwa vizuri.
And IDPs under the Nyanza and Western Caucasus have petitioned the government to release the compensation funds and finalize their resettlement.
We have gone a long journey of 16 years down the line, trying to share and persuade the government to compensate us just like other regions which have been compensated before. We are requesting that we should not go a longer time anymore, because we are just like other Kenyans who have got their right.
Finally, Digital Border Drivers and Deliveries Association has commenced a campaign on road safety, sensitizing border riders and pedestrians on how to be mindful of all road users.
We encourage all our members to ride safe on the road, and we urge the public that when they see these reflectors, they have numbers. All riders have identification, and we want to differentiate between genuine business people in this industry and the crooks and thugs who use motorbikes to steal, and then the general public view anybody on the bike as if they are thugs.
Meanwhile, from further afield, South Korea's lawmakers have voted to impeach President Yoon Suk-yeol over his attempt to impose martial law, following massive protests that gripped the country. The voting was done in secret ballot that saw all 300 members of the assembly cast their ballots, with 204 MPs supporting the motion, including some of Yoon's People's Power Party, that is Triple P. Only 85 opposed the motion. Following the impeachment, the country's Prime Minister Han Duck-soo will now serve as acting president under South Korea law.
Yoon is the second conservative president in a row to be impeached in South Korea after Park Geun-hye, who was removed from office in 2017. Yoon is accused of his attempt to impose martial law declaration, which triggered political chaos in an established democracy and a major U.S. ally, resulting in 11 uncertain and stressful days for ordinary South Koreans. Yoon is now suspended from exercising his powers until the decision is finally adjudicated by the country's constitutional court. Following the vote, which sparked jubilation among protesters outside Parliament, Yoon considered that he would stop temporarily for now, but the journey to the future that he walked with the people for the past 2 years should not stop. The Constitutional Court now has 180 days to rule on whether Yoon should be impeached or restored. If it rules to impeach, an election for the next president must be called within 60 days. Jacqueline Mshara for Luncheon's edition.
Good evening. It's that time again when we roll out the sports extravaganza on the Legends edition.
I'm Topi Liambila. We kick off today with the Yala Games, where the Kenya parliamentary men's basketball team booked their place in the knockout stage of the basketball competition after a 64-37 triumph over Burundi in an entertaining game played at the KPM Akupa basketball court. Our reporter Daniel Mwendwa tells us more as the East African Community Interparliamentary Games enter the 8th day in Mombasa. Let's take a listen.
The Kenyan team came into the match determined to carry the day against their opponents, and they did just that to take the first quarter 17-6. Machakos Town Member of Parliament Caleb Mule and Langata MP Felix Odor were on target with 3-pointers in the second quarter as Kenya consolidated their lead to 14-10. The team went ahead to cement their win with a 19-40 and 14-10 win in the third and fourth quarters to advance to the knockout stages. They beat Tanzania 67-28 in the first game before being awarded a walkover in their second game against South Sudan.
Ma 3-pointer mingi, unaona pale gap ni kubwa sana, karibu over 30. Hiyo ni kuamanisha waheshimiwa wamekuwa kitrain. We are looking good. So we are looking for the next game, which is the toughest here ya Uganda.
Maandalizi ya raundi hii imekuwa sawa, na vile hii nia na madhumuni ya hii michezo ni kuintegrate, kujuana pande zote za nchi zetu za Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Burundi, na hiyo uhusiano tunaendelea na kuimarisha.
They hope to prevail against defending champions Uganda on Monday in their last round robin game. In the women's category, the Kenyan team got a walkover after South Sudan failed to show up. In netball, Kenya suffered a setback after they lost 49-14 to Uganda. Kenya had won their other matches against Tanzania, whom they beat 67-28 before they overcame Iyala 46-31. They were also awarded a walkover against South Sudan to add to their tally.
As the host of the games, we must really shine, but also we have been practicing. Unlike the previous years, each team has been practicing. From the team of people with disability, you can see our volleyball men are doing very well, our football men are also doing very well. Our athletes, though the East African community believe that Kenya should win in athletics, are also doing very well, but generally we have been practicing.
The 14th edition of the Yala Games continue tomorrow with different games lined up.
The Kenya men's basketball team setting the pace in the knockout stages. The Kenyan team remains hopeful to back this year's overall title with different games set to be on card this Sunday. For Legends Edition Sports, from Mombasa, I'm Daniel Mwendwa.
You can see our babas and our mamas in action there in Mombasa. Now on cross-country, Vincent Langat and Helen Ekalele emerged victorious in the 10-kilometer men and women senior races, respectively, during the 5th leg of the Kenya Athletics Kenya cross-country series held at the Cardinal Otunga High School in Mosocho. The competition drew more than 500 athletes from across the nation. Let's take a look.
Kalale, who is best in Japan, led from start to finish, clocking 35 minutes and 53.1 seconds. Christine Joki Nalimo finished second in 36 minutes and 26.1 seconds, while Joylene Cherotich finished in third place in 37 minutes and 13.1 seconds.
Nimepiga mazoezi tu wiki moja na nimefurahi sana kwa sababu mwili imekubali haraka sana kwa wiki moja. So bado nitaendelea kungangana kabisa, yani nikuwe in a good condition.
In the men's competition, Vincent Langat emerged victorious in 32 minutes and 05.2 seconds, beating Wesley Kipkemoi, who clocked 32 minutes and 08.9 seconds to finish second, and John Lomoni finished third.
Sikuwa na matumaini nitashinda, lakini hiyo ya mwisho nimeona niko kwa cabin, nikaamua wacha nijaribu nione kama nitashinda.
Meanwhile, Celestine Mantane won the women's 6-kilometer race after beating Alice Chemutai and Sandra Jepchumba to second and third positions, respectively. Calvin Kiprop won the men's 8-kilometer race ahead of Silas Senchura and Evans Kosgei, respectively. The 6th leg will be held in Kisii.
From the FKF Premier League, Kenya Police have moved up to 4th position in the FKF Premier League table after they beat Gor Mahia 1-0 in what has been termed the most entertaining match of the day. Alvin Mangeni scored the lone goal in the 62nd minute to leave Gor Mahia 6th on the table with 18 points, 2 behind the opponents. Talanta FC failed to move the farther away from the relegation zone after being held to 1-0 draw by City Stars in Game 2 of the day. Talanta 13th on the table with 14 points, 3 points above bottom-placed Posta Rangers, and a win could have propelled them further up the ladder.
Amekosa nafasi hiyo! Elvis Osoro amefanya nini? Lakini Emmanuel Osoro amefanya jambo. Naye pia ameendelea alipoachia. Emmanuel Osoro, dakika za mwisho kabisa.
From handball, 14 teams from 5 nations will begin their hunt for the 42nd East and Central Africa Handball Senior Club Championships title from tomorrow in Kigali, Rwanda. Kenya will only be represented by 2 teams, NCPB men and Nairobi Water women's teams, after the KDF team pulled out of the tournament that will end on the 22nd December at the Amahoro Stadium. NCPB will battle for the men's title against SOS of Burundi, Juba City and Cobra of South Sudan, Prisons of Uganda and APR Police, Gishumbi and Ubuntu Sport from the host nation, Rwanda. In the ladies' event, Kenya's Nairobi Water will fight for the title against Prisons and Police of Uganda, University of Kigali and ESCC Nyamagabe. The Kenya Rafting Federation has officially been inaugurated in Sagana. The newly formed federation will manage the adventure water sport in collaboration with the African and global governing bodies. At the launch, the sustainability of the water sports has been discussed, with those in attendance bringing to the fore the need to protect the rivers from the source to the delta. Daniel Wahome was at the event and filed the following report.
The rapids on River Sagana. A turbulent flow of white water coupled with an uneven riverbed and steep gradients every few meters. This is not what would be considered a boat operator's paradise, but it offers the perfect setting for rafting. This adventure sport can be taken up for leisure, commercial or competitive purposes. From the sporting perspective, rafters compete in teams of 6 or 4, known as R6 and R4 respectively, classified as per age grades and gender. The competitors paddle through a designated course with obstacles made as gates, hoping to be the first past the post. For leisure purposes, anyone can be introduced to the sport.
So this is what we call a personal flotation device. At all times, it keeps you afloat whenever you are doing an outdoor river adventure. So with this, it has clips. So when you clip it, you start with the lower buckle first. You clip that, you clip this, and then you clip that, and the last one. So now, at the side, it has the adjustments. So this equipment should be tight on your body fitting. So when you adjust these ones, it will be tight onto your body. Because whenever you are being helped while you are inside the river, you'll have to be pulled by the jacket shoulder straps, where my hands are. Because we can't pull you by your arm, maybe you might have a weaker shoulder. And when we pull you by your arm, you might dislocate your shoulder. We are at the river, there are some rocks, and maybe you might find yourself falling down. So the helmet is for the head injury. Whenever you knock yourself down, it will protect your head.
The Kenya Rafting Federation was officially inaugurated on the 13th of December 2024 at the Rapids Camp in Sagana and will be mandated to run the sport in the country in collaboration with a global body.
So we also look to bring the World Championship here for rafting in future. Because we have the infrastructure in place now. We have hotels in place. We have enough. We have the river, which is great, and we have as stakeholders who are supporting this movement. So it's a great initiative.
Rafting is not possible without a water body, and there is need to ensure that our rivers do not run dry, as was emphasized by the Chief Conservator of Forest Emeritus, Julius Kamau.
We're going to have a challenge because rafting is an extractive activity, and that is a good thing. But if we continue experiencing the nature and how it is treating us, swinging from drought to extreme floods, then you're never going to have a good environment and a good environment safely that can support rafting. So the nexus I want to draw onto all of us as we create the awareness is that we need to protect our forest ecosystem, both in the highlands. We have to change the way we do our farming in our own farms, because if we don't do that, then the soil load go into the river and then it causes problems.
The river goes up and down faster than it's ever done before. The river is browner with silt, worse than it has ever been before. And it's getting worse and worse in a year. So if this federation comes together and we tackle that, fantastic.
The Rafting Federation is working with the TVET Authority to grow the skill set for the industry.
We are going to train you, and then you can train the students. We have 900 to 1 million students who leave school every year. And we know for water sports, if we get 100,000 people, will not be able to handle that. So it's a great initiative. Kenya Rafting Federation is leading that.
And they have a new member from the East African community, the Democratic Republic of Congo.
We have came here to learn and to planify on how we are going to even start the same project where we come from.
It's not every day that a conversation around the environment would really feature when it comes to sport. But with rafting now having an official federation in Kenya, the onus is on them to ensure that water bodies all around the country are well conserved from source to the deltas so that they may have continuity in their activities. Reporting for Legends Edition, I am Daniel Wahome in Sagana.
Star 570 hash. Option 1 kuna PS5 na ni full package na inakuja na JBL Party Box. Hiyo boom experience pia iko.
Mamlaka ya ukusanyaji ushuru nchini inakuletea kampeni ya umma ya G-Nice na Risiti Legit. Thibitisha risiti yako ukitumia app ya Risiti Legit, upate nafasi ya kuibuka mshindi wa zawadi kemkem kama vile shilingi milioni 1 pesa taslim, laptops, televisheni ya inchi 50, smartphones na zawadi zingine. Jumamosi tarehe 14, msafara wetu utaingia GPO, Bondeni, Coast General, Nyali Bridge, Mtwapa, Kilifi Market, Gede, Malindi Town na Malindi Stadium. Pata app ya Risiti Legit kwa Google Play Store au App Store kwa maelezo ya kuingia katika mashindano ya Risiti Legit. G-Nice na Risiti Legit. KRA, tulipe ushuru tujitegemee.
When I'm with you, I wonder
Last night a DJ saved my life from a broken heart. Another one bites the dust.
The fear of missing out by downloading the KBC Online app that gives you access to everything you love. Get the latest news, sport,
is a class
music, entertainment news, live radio, and so much more at the palm of your hands. To get the app, simply search KBC Mobile Digital app in your Google Play or App Store and download the app. Catch what you want, anytime, anywhere. Stay connected. Stay ahead with KBC Mobile Digital app.
Thank you for staying and keeping it KBC. Now a report on judo, where Ribco FC from Chemoligot were crowned champions of the KDF Sports for Peace Baringo chapter after they overcame Comolion FC 2-1 in the final played in Baringo. The tournament was organized to encourage peaceful coexistence among communities in Baringo. Let's take a look.
With relative calm witnessed in the banditry-prone counties of the North Rift, the Kenya Defence Forces organized a three-day tournament dubbed Sports for Peace Baringo Chapter. The three-day event themed Run, Play and Dance for Sustainable Peace brought together youths from 6 counties of the North Rift in a bid to encourage peaceful coexistence among the communities of the regions that have been affected by banditry. The event also gave an opportunity for youths from different communities to interact, share and dialogue on their roles in fostering peace as well as enhancing social bonds. Ribco FC won the football tournament while Moses Chesang from Loruk won the half marathon in 1 hour 9 minutes and 35 seconds.
Tafadhali, hiyo ndio ile message nataka mweneze kila mahali. Kwa North Rift yote, kwa county zote mahali mmetoka, manake mmetoka kila mahali. Mueleze sisi tunafurahia na tunataka tuendelee kukaa hivyo hivyo. Wale ambao bado hawajaamini kwamba kuna amani, waeleze wamechelewa.
Meanwhile, the Kenya Judo Federation has opened a new judo club in Kitui town in order to nurture new talents and at the same time popularize the sport in the region. It will be the first talent nurturing club in Kitui, with young players advised to take up sports as a way of earning a living and changing their lives for the better.
As a federation, we have teamed up with her to ensure that we work together and get these kids to do something, develop their talents, and take them out of that field of drugs.
And the purpose of this is to first occupy children and young people with activities that are meaningful, as well as keep them away from activities that may be harmful for them. The counteract effect of that is that our children will have good mental health, there will be a sense of community, as well as a sense of achievement.
Now from judo in Baringo to the motocross, where the second and final round of the FIM Central Africa Motocross Challenge is underway at the Vipingo Ridge racetrack from Kenya, with Kenya riders out to outpace their perennial rivals from Uganda in the hot and humid conditions in their quest for the top honors this time round. Apolombuki of MX1 is leading the Kenyan charge, which also includes top lady rider Atete Penzige, who has held her fort in the male-dominated field with a third podium finish in the WMX senior ladies class in the East African region. Ciara Hatanga and Jematia Kangongo, who are following in Benzige's footsteps, are also competing in the North Coast Vipingo race track. The Kenyan riders hope to get the much-needed points against Uganda Motocross Cranes, who are also the defending champions of the CAC Championship. Fortune Emmanuel Sentamu, Usima Mukibi, Wazir Al-Muzahim are some of the riders who are expected to shine for Uganda in MX1. They won the first round with a cumulative total of 1,540 points against Kenya's meager 179. Let's take a look. From the restaurant on to the boardroom, where the annual 5-day Kenya National Chess Championship will conclude tomorrow at the Makini Schools here in Nairobi, with the overall Kenyan champion in the open category set to drive home a brand new car. Over 300 players are competing in the championship in various categories, ranging from the open category to the ladies, veterans, and persons with disabilities categories. The majority of children in the championship are drawn from the 5 youth camps that are being run by Chess Kenya in collaboration with the Kenya Academy of Sports in Kisumu, Eldoret, Mombasa and Nairobi. The best 5 players in both the ladies and open categories will secure their spots in the Kenya national team, which will represent the country in the international tournaments next year. Let's take a look. Sports federations have been challenged to tap into the large pool of data of talented youth identified by the Kenya Sports Academy. This clarion call was made today in Kisumu as they concluded their 2 weeks training camp involving various disciplines. Simon Achola on the ground has this report for us.
With a database of over 10,000 talented youths across various disciplines, the Kenya Academy Sports is quickly gaining the tag of the one-stop bank for talents from which various sports federations can tap into to beef up respective national teams. And now coaches at the academy are challenging national team coaches across various disciplines and age groups to utilize the vast resources already sourced for them.
Kenya Academy of Sports now have a portal. They have identified the best players in this country from every region. And the moment federations want a certain age, they engage Kenya Academy of Sports. I am telling my brother, they'll do right.
The Kenya Sports Academy has for the last 2 years identified the best talent at the national schools competition. The academy then holds boot camps to sharpen the skills of the identified players.
I think, it goes without being said that these legends of the game have been there and done it. So as a result of that, they are perfectly positioned to show that experience and give back to their communities, give back to the sport that they love, that they once loved and that they still do love as well. And so with that, it goes without being said that they're some of the best to be put in these positions as well.
This year, the camps have been running in 4 different regions, namely Nairobi, Kisumu, Rift Valley and Mombasa.
From here, we are selecting an elite camp which will now take place in Nairobi, of now the best from here. And from there, they will now be positioned into various different sporting teams. And who knows, they could even represent the country in the different sporting disciplines.
300 best players will join an elite camp next year for further training.
Kwa maana tumepewa every region imepewa 13. So tunaenda kufanya nini? Kukutana pamoja for an elite camp. Now, tumeacha under 17 nyuma. Boys hawajafikiwa na imebidi tuchukue kwa under 17 tuweke tuwao 13. So tumeacha a lot of talents bado nyuma, kwa sababu nadhani Kenya Academy of Sports ikipata uwezo, ikisaidiwa, serikali ikiinua hii Kenya Academy of Sports, waweke mkazo. It's only through Kenya Academy of Sports the way to go, kwa sababu it is doing amazing job yenye hata siku zetu ingefanyiwa wengine tungekuwa hii country.
Tumeweza kukua na exposure mzuri na tumeweza kupatana wale nao jua raga, na tunapopatana mahali kama hapa, ukisha experience tunaweza kupata huyu akijua hii na hii, tunasaidiana ili kuenda mbele.
I want to play basketball to the highest level. I know that I can reach to WNBA, which is the best basketball playing group. And I want to be different, let me say unique. I want to be a player whom can be recognized, and somehow many people can say that, yes, she's helped people, she's a good player, she does this, something different from the others.
This is part of the government's efforts to monetize talents while creating a predictable and reliable pathway for the talented youths to also pursue education, get life skills, as well as general mentorship.
If you're aware, we are now identifying 50 schools across the country, secondary schools, that we're going to develop their playing fields and also equip them with sports equipment, and and also make sure that their teachers are also trained, so that the ones that we get from secondary schools, if somebody's gotten, lives near Kakamega High School and it's been chosen, make sure that the child go to Kakamega school where his skill will be further developed, and also ensure that they also get the right education, because education and sports go along.
I think it's only a starter, and what it's doing is it's really showing the young girls out there, the young boys out there, that you can do it if you put your mind to it, if you're disciplined. Talent will speak for itself, but these are the things you've got to keep on working on them.
Achola Simon, Legends Edition, Kisumu County.
And that boot camp story brings the curtain down on the weekend sports action this Saturday. And just a quick reminder, Bridge over Congo Rumba comes to you after this with the Kibangu Mfumo, Winnie Marie Jose, and DJ Extra 254, DJ Salim. And I'm Topi Lembila, handing you over to Edmund, but just to mention that, he has silently challenged me to the whitewater rafting course in Sagana. But I think he will have to say that later. Otherwise, it's good evening, Weekend Gemma from KBC Legends Edition.
Well, it's a season of challenges and a season of hope, but a season to rest. This has been the Legends Edition, coming to you live from Broadcasting House, Nairobi, Kenya. And from the great team that has made this possible, we thank you. Our sign language interpreter, Byron Abuli. Asante sana. Stay well, stay safe, be blessed. I'm Edmund Budibo. It's a wrap.
Ishafika na ni kubwa kubwa. Kweli? Hii Kristi ni bomba na Blue Santa kupitia star 570 hash option 1. Rudia. Star 570 hash option 1. Iko PlayStation 5 na 55 TV na iko 500,000 Kenyan shillings. Na mbuzi moja? Na mbuzi. 1 million Kenyan shillings na Samsung S24 Ultra. Na mbuzi moja? Iko 2 million Kenyan shillings na iPhone 16 Pro Max. Na mbuzi mbili. Blue Santa amekuja na zawadi kibao. Na ni kubwa kubwa. Hapa kuna ndogo ndogo. Hapa Christmas ni bomba.
the name of Jesus Christ. Mungu anatarajia ukanyange hatua mbele. Wengine wametawaliwa na uchawi, wakati wao umefika. Wewe umenitazama siku ya leo. Neema na kibali cha Bwana kikawe juu ya maisha yako.
My name is DJ D, and on the ones and twos is
DJ Leo.
We bring you the best of African entertainment.
From Afrobeat to Amapiano.
Daddy, me I want to party.
Genge to bongo.
Rusha mikono kama unaona uko tipsy. Rusha mikono kama maisha iko fiti.
And Zouk to Kwaito.
Put me for party. And not only that, anything juicy in the entertainment industry, we give it to you. Catch us every Sunday from 2:30 to 4 p.m.
Only on KBC Channel 1.
The Marunze. The Marunza.
Turapunguza vituko na wachau hayawani.
Mbona ufisadi umekuwa chanzo cha kudorora kwa mataifa mengi ulimwenguni?
Dawa zinapoibiwa hospitalini hufanya serikali kutoa pesa zingine kununua dawa ilhali kulikuwa na dawa.
Wewe kama mwananchi, juhudi lako tafuta jinsi ya kupata ajira.
Taja sentensi hii kwa wingi. Chifu amemwandikia mtume barua.
Chifu wamewaandikia watume barua.
Tambua aina za viunganishi kwa kuzingatia asili. Na asili yake
kigeni.
Asili ya kigeni lakini sio?
Naam.
Persons living with disability have for long grappled with access to health information.
Those of us who can read Braille is very expensive. If I buy a book, I must have a reader to read it for.
In Kenya, 139 people get infected with tuberculosis every year, according to the World Health Organization, but only 50% of them get diagnosed and linked to treatment.
The side effects of the drugs that are taken for treating TB have a side effects that lead to disabilities.
Make sure to tune in on Sunday at 6:30 p.m. on Health and Lifestyle.
Wakajua mbe, wakajua mbano ya kwenu kumakelela. Mune tisto kui kwenu kwa tuwatu.